Okay, I hinted at the inference log last time and how we can use inferences to help determine things about the story and the characters. So today we're going to actually do the inference log and begin the reading. Okay? All right. So for this lesson, it's important to refer to your handouts and linked resources. Have them open for the question segment. It's going to be sherlock.pdf. You can also listen while reading to the audio recording. There's a public domain one put out by LibriVox that Phil Chenevert narrates, and I'm going to link that below because it's in the public domain, so I can do so legally. Or you could go to your local library if you prefer another narrator and you want to listen to the audio recording while you're reading this short story. You could find the reading on Blackboard, or it may be linked on YouTube below. You can click more if you don't see it immediately. You should also see the links, as I said, to the LibriVox audiobook recording of this particular short story, The Red-Headed League. Okay, it's important you read this. You should be about halfway through the story by the time we start doing the questions about it. But first off, I want you to do the inference log before you get started reading, okay? We're going to get to that in this lesson. The inference log is one of the things that is very important in the in-depth. If you lack certain skills in this area, you're having difficulty, you may find this aids your comprehension a lot, okay? All right, so what are some ways that we can make inferences while reading The Red-Headed League to aid reading comprehension and outcome prediction? How can we make inferences while reading The Red-Headed League? So listen to the text cited while reading. Continue with the inference log. Okay, I'm going to put a template of this on the Blackboard lesson, but I'm also going to go into it on the next slide. Okay, an inference log is a tool to help you understand how and why you make inferences, especially if you're having difficulty. An inference, as we mentioned, is an informed literary prediction. It's not just taking a guess. It's an informed guess. You have to have evidence to back it up. Picking eeny, meeny, miny, mo, that's not an inference. That's a guess. There's a difference. Eventually, you should be able to do this automatically without this resource. But there's four main parts. You're going to look at the event, the characters, the inference, and the evidence. The event is what's happening. The characters are who's doing it. The inference is, well, what happens next? And the evidence is why. How do we know what happens next, okay? And here's a template for how this works. In the event column, I have Jabez Wilson hires Sherlock for the case. Characters, Jabez Wilson, Sherlock Holmes, and Watson. The inference, what happens next based on the evidence? Well, the story will involve a mystery concerning the Red-Headed League. Jabez, since he hires Sherlock Holmes, is an important character and may be involved in this mystery somehow. Evidence, it's in the title. It's called the Red-Headed League. And Jabez hires Sherlock Holmes to investigate. So, Sherlock Holmes is probably going to go investigate the Red-Headed League, and maybe Jabez Wilson plays some part in this. Were you correct? So you could read ahead and say, yes, sure, I was correct. But this is a very basic example. You can do more complicated ones, but this is, a very good way to test out how are my inference skills working. You could put that extra column, the fifth column, so that you could say, oh, yeah, I was right. Or maybe, oh, no, I was kind of off. Maybe I have to look at how I'm making these predictions. Do I have enough evidence? Is my evidence correct? Okay? All right, so the reinforcement. Write a response to literature based on who you think the culprit is. At this point, you should have read approximately the first half. Okay? So if you haven't done that, you can after the video, I want you to go back, listen to it, and then do this. Remember to refer to your inference list. Use that to help you out. That inference log can be very helpful. So who do you think the culprit is? Let's look at some of those events that happened. Let's look at who's done that. Let's look at what our predictions are. Some of them are going to be wrong. They don't have to be right. That's fine. Okay? So refer to that list. Okay, and that's it for this time. I'll see you next time.